All right, good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. Um, I am bursting at the seams right now because I'm super excited about what's getting ready to happen and what's going on and what brought us here today. This is something that I would dare say is a first. It's something that probably hasn't been seen before, and we're excited to be able to have roll out yet another first here in York on behalf of our community. And assembled in front of you, you do see a panel of unique individuals and people. If you're looking at this first glance and like you're on social media and you're seeing everybody here assembled, uh, with Captain Dan Lynch from the New York City Police Department. We have District Attorney Dave Sunday here, myself. We have President Dr. Ski from HAC, Mayor Michael Helfrich, and a face that everybody's come to know and love. We have Tiff Lowe, our program coordinator for GVI. And we're here to do something special today. And I wanted to make sure that we were rolling this out and kicking this off in the biggest, best possible way. We are here united because we are working together, partnering to fight against gun violence and group violence in a whole new way that's probably never been one that we would have thought of that we would have been here. But we're here because we're looking to affect people's lives and combat gun violence here in the York community through opportunity. So, what I mean by that is months ago, we were in a position that our partners contacted us and they reached out to me and said that we had an opportunity to repurpose some of our gun violence intervention monies. And rather than sitting down and deciding to commit that money to buying another cruiser or committed to putting police overtime to put more officers on street corners, I had probably a little bit of a crazy idea that what if we were able to invest in the individuals that are affected by gun violence and give them second chances, give them hope, give them opportunities, give them something that they otherwise may not have dreamt was possible or available to them because of circumstances, because of life, because of our situation. And we went back and we kicked that idea out. I took that idea to the panel that we were working with and said, let's look at partnering with uh, one of our local educational institutions to be able to cut through some red tape for these individuals and provide scholarships for them that would allow them to dream again, that would allow them to have an opportunity that they, like I said, that they otherwise may not have had anymore. So we came up with the idea, or came up with the idea of providing scholarships to individuals that have been involved in gun violence in the past and in group violence in the past, but also victims who have been affected by the gun violence in our community in the past. And we believe in that idea. It was my belief that that would provide opportunities that would resonate not just for them, but through whole families, through whole generations of people, that it would break chains, generational curses that families have been held under for years on end just by being able to pick uh, 12, 15 individuals up and give them a chance to go to school, give them a chance to to take advantage of a career or a new profession, to change their circumstance for not only them but for their families. So mothers that have had sons being involved in the street life, victims and their families, siblings that have been affected or may have lost a parent to gun violence, and then the individuals themselves that had perpetuated gun violence and criminality here in our community, taking them and saying, what if somebody was able to provide you a second chance to do something differently? What would you do and where would you want to go? And thanks to Hack being just as forward thinking and outside the box as I think we are at this point. They took us on as a partner, thanks to the county as our strategic and financial partner, saying going to the mat for us with PCCD, with the state, and saying, hey, we want to look at repurposing our funding to do something different, completely unorthodox to combat gun violence, and having PCCD, had the state being willing to say yes, and to have HAC under the time crunch that we gave them, be able to come up with a host of opportunities, 22 or more, that will be able to extend to individuals for that, to turn people's lives around, whether it's through the nursing programming or the truck driving program, police academy, fire academy, even getting the GED, whatever they need. Just being able to have educational institutions stand up like HAC did and say, we'll cut costs, we'll bend over backwards, we'll do whatever you need us to do to get you there, to give individuals new opportunities. And thankfully, it all came together between the mayor cutting through all the red tape and the bureaucracy for us, HAC stepping up, the DA's office figuring out a way to find us the money that we needed to be able to apply to these individuals, and then TIF jumping in there and being our frontline soldier to help us get it all worked out and get the names and stuff to get ready for us, to put us in the position that we're at today, where we're ready to finally tell the community, hey, look, we have an opportunity for you. We're ready to give some people some second chances. We're ready to turn some lives around. And that's what brings us here today. So with that, that's our big reveal. We're super proud of it. I'm sure I would venture to say there's never been a police department or possibly even a DA's office that has done anything like this and been involved in anything like this from a criminal justice perspective. And I'm really proud to be here in this moment today, taking part of this. And I will kick it off to one of the men that made this possible, Dr. Ski.
Well, thank you very much, Commissioner. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the partners that are here today. We very much look forward to working with you, working with the DA's office. You know, part of HAC is all about an on-ramp to higher education. And part of our goal and our mission is to look at changing lives, destinies, and family trees. And this gives us an opportunity to be able to do that and work with you and work with so many departments in York. And so we couldn't be more delighted. The HAC community here at York is just very excited. So thank you for this opportunity. We look forward to serving this community in new and exciting ways.
So I don't know who wants to jump in next. Maybe we'll do it this way. So today, we give you for the first time, York community, the GVI, More Graduations, Less Funerals Opportunity Scholarship. And with that, I think it's only fitting to roll this straight to Tiff Lowe to speak to what this is going to mean to your community and the individuals that you've been working to affect.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, everyone that's here today. I'm never one that's speechless, but I must admit I am a little speechless today. Just to hear that roll off of your tongue into the community, that, you know, something that we've been screaming and yelling, and it's on my shirt right now, more graduations, less funerals, like, it's really happening. You know, it's not just a saying anymore. We're literally going to attend more graduations with this opportunity. And, you know, I always tell people, I know what an opportunity can do for a person. I was given one, and that's why I'm sitting on this panel right now. So just imagine, you know, how many more York City TIF Lows are out there that are one day going to sit on this panel, that one day will, you know, be behind the cameras, just doing some of the work that we're doing and beyond. So I am beyond blessed to just be a part of this. Again, to just hear that roll off your tongue just now, I was all ready to speak until I just heard, you know, more graduations, less funerals and opportunities. All of that together just leaves me speechless. But I'm beyond blessed again just to be a part of it. So thank you, and thank you to everyone that had something to do with this.
So, Mayor, I'm going to tee you up because you've been saying this a lot lately. And when you say it, it's not just something you say like a slogan, it's something that you truly mean from your heart. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. You've been branding us and speaking to the fact that we are a city of second chances. We are a city of opportunity. With that said, what does something like this mean to you?
Well, it's no secret that York City gave me a second chance as an ex-offender, somebody who made mistakes when I was young, and now put me in leadership and said, "Hey, we are going to give you the full second chance." And Tiff's sitting next to me, and I think she'll be all right with me saying Tiff's a second chancer too. And York City is the city of second chances, and this just I'm tearing up right now. I've been saying for years, if you look, and before I was even mayor, people talked to me about all the problems in the city. Whether you look at the violence in the city, the problems in our education system with the young people not having what they need to move forward, not feeling like they're in survival mode all the time, whether it's people keeping their houses up, or even literally how people feel about their own community with the trash that we see around the city and stuff like that. The taxes are high. Why are the taxes high? Because we need so many police officers, because we need so many services. Why? Because there haven't been opportunities to come out of poverty. Poverty breeds, except for the potholes in the city, almost every problem comes out of poverty. And comes out of that generational poverty, which drags you down, takes away hope. So breaking the chains of poverty, that's what we are talking about here. And completely changing the mindset of our community is what we're talking about here. And when Commissioner Muldrow told me about this, I'm all in. And not only am I all in, but I have asked our city council to approve $500,000 out of the ARPA funding.
Wow.
For this program. I think Chief Quinn of the York City School Police said it remarkably. When are we going to stop spending so much time trying to put kids in jail, and when are we going to spend more time trying to put kids in college, put kids in careers, put kids in a place where they can provide for their families and provide for future generations? This is the change. This is the point of change. And we're here now, and I just want to thank everybody involved, because this is the real deal. We're ready to really invest in our community. And for everybody out there, I've been saying this for years. If you want to become a welder, you still got welding here, right? All right. Ski's got welding here. You can be making more money than the mayor in about 4 years by being a welder. And how much training does that take? How much time?
Up to 2 years.
In 2 years, you can be making more than the mayor, or 2 years to get the career training, about 4 years of experience, and you can be making more than the mayor of the city of York by investing in yourself. Plumbing, HVAC, nursing, we are desperately in need of these trades around here. The folks that lived those trades are retiring pretty quickly, and we are not filling those spaces fast enough. So there are opportunities for anybody that's willing to invest in themselves, because if you're willing to invest in yourself, we're willing to invest in you too.
Now, Tiff, I feel like you like what you said. Now I'm a little choked up now, and it's hard to get my next word out. And anybody knows me know that that's rare. We came with an to sit around, man, and you come with an idea of and you get it to where Michelle and where, thanks to Dave, where we've been able to get this to where you look to try to change as many lives as you can change with $50,000. And then you hear something like that from a mayor. We were looking at changing 12 or 15 people's lives, 12 or 15 families with $50,000. Imagine how York's going to be affected with $500,000 of, and I'm going to use your word, Lance, investment. $500,000 of investment back into this community. Dave, would you I got it. I wanted to give him more of a segue than this, but but man,
I appreciate it very much. It's great to be here, and I want to start by saying that in York we have adopted a philosophy of criminal justice, and that's accountability and redemption. You've got to hold people accountable, and we all agree you must hold people accountable. On the other side, we also believe in redemption because 95% of everyone that goes into a prison's coming back out. And what do we want those 95% of inmates to do when they get back out? Our goal here, and even if we have slight differences in thoughts and different things we may disagree with at times, we all work collaboratively and find places where we can get it done to keep our community safe. And that's the underlying theme in which we operate in all of our dealings with each other. And with that being said, you know, I guess this is a day where we're all moved. You know, I have a special connection to Hack. You know, I wasn't the most motivated youth, and I joined the Navy when I was 18, right out of high school. You know, I was in Desert Strike, and I was all over the world doing things, and I came back, and I kind of thought the world passed me by, you know. And Hack gave me an opportunity, and so I went to Hack, and I got an associate's degree from Hack. And I remember how proud I was the first day I walked into a classroom at Hack. Many years ago, just remember the pride I had in that. You know, it took me, I had to go around the world to get here, but I did, and here I am. And I just remember getting my books and walking into a classroom and saying, like, you know, where can this take me? And I'm just so proud to sit here, a Hack graduate, and have the blessings in life and the opportunity to do things that are so meaningful. And my hope is that other people have that same pride when they learn and when they realize that they have control over their outcomes. You know, you can't control the rest of the world. You can't control what people do, how they respond to you, but you can control how you play the game. And my hope is that people that otherwise may be in a bad place will say, I can control myself, and I'm going to take this opportunity. And from my experience, I promise you that, you know, the gift of knowing that you can achieve is one of the most powerful forces that I've ever felt in my life. And my hope is that these young adults have the same experience. And then the hope is then it just sort of takes on a life of its own. And so it's just, I'm very happy about this. This is a public safety initiative I view this as a public safety initiative, and also just an initiative that really benefits the health of our community. And so it's great to be here. And
man, thank you so much. I would, and I'm gonna pose this last question or kickoff segue to you, Lentz, Captain Lentz. As a cop, I've arrested a lot of people. You've ran around in the rain, chased people, and arrested a lot of people. What does this feel like to you to be involved in fighting crime this way?
Yeah, I think this just signals, you know, that law enforcement and police departments are changing. The culture's changing. You know, we can't arrest our way out of problems. And like Dave said, this is a public safety initiative. So, you know, I'm just proud that we can take preventive measures, you know, and get back. Like, I love the term redemption, you know, and I love that we are the city of second chances. So, you know, I'm proud that this is the direction under your leadership that the police department is going, and I look forward to working with everybody to, you know, see the outcomes from this program.
Keep the mic. You want to share with them some of the programs at Hack that we'll be able to offer them Hack?
Yeah, I'm glad the mayor had brought up welding because that's actually on the list. You know, some of the other ones that we have are, excuse me, nurses' aides. We have a whole list. You know, I'm not going to read them all, but basic welding, reflexology, Act 235. You have just even down to your GED. So if somebody just needs to get back into it, we'll get you your GED, and then we can also start to explore some of these other programs. So we have quite a list of programs, and we're really excited to identify individuals that want interested in going through this process and getting started.
It really just touched me as I thought about it, how many of our young people that we lost to homicide and how many that were involved in it were good students, were athletes, were people that had a direction they were going. And then probably, some of them did have opportunities and they still got caught up in stuff. But how many, if they had that opportunity right there, would have had that extra push to keep their nose a little cleaner, to keep away from the wrong folks and stick with the right folks, the folks that are going to advance them. It just hit me like faces in my mind that we lost that could have taken advantage of this opportunity. So,
I'll actually speak to that quickly. Last week I had posted something on my Facebook page, and I shared with the community about my team and I. We have been going to do jail visits, to come up with a plan for these young adults that are transitioning from, prison to home, and we want to make sure that they are have a sustainable plan. But one of the questions we wanted to know was, and the question I'll tell you exactly how I asked is, what made you get off the porch? For those who don't know what that means, what made you go out here and involve yourself in these things? And we had three different people at three different times, and they all answered the same exact way. And their answer was my environment. And, with that, it's like I understood it, but even with that environment that they had, they didn't have the opportunity within their environment to make that change. So now their environment's going to look a little different with the scholarship, because now your environment includes opportunities that you didn't even know you had. Your environment has an opportunity that you can actually touch. It's right here. Once we leave from here today, we are going to the jail. So I can, extend this opportunity to some of the men that will be coming home within the next 2 weeks. So the opportunity is right there within your environment.
I before we get into some questions and take some questions, I'm sure some of the press, some of the journalists that are here today may have some questions that they would like to ask of the other panelists. But I just want to take a second and speak to a couple individuals specifically that are in my head that may be watching or may see this, may hear about this. To that mom, and I'm not going to say your name, but to that mom who lost your teenage son, and we're wondering how you're going to manage for the other young people, the other siblings that you still have in your household, and how you're going to turn things around, how you're going to address your circumstances, how you're going to make sure that that doesn't happen again. This one's for you. To that young guy that after the call-in stopped so many of us and said, I want to get out. I want to be out of the street, but I have a reputation. I have a reputation now. When people see me, they expect certain things. I look like this. I have this tattoo. I'm not going to get that same opportunities. How do I get people to look past who I was yesterday? This one's for you. To anybody out there who thought that, like the mayor said, your chance was gone, this one's for you. So we're proud to be here today. We're excited to kick this off with you all. Mayor, if you want to have anything else you'd like to say, and then I'll get out of the way and we can take some questions.
That was a wonderful way to end it, but I felt like I had to say one other thing, and that is from the financial side of this. Dave, what are we spending a year to keep one person incarcerated? 40,000, 50,000, 60,000?
I think it comes down to around 100. I want to say maybe $120 a day, potentially. I know that a lot of our initiatives in York, when we look at, for example, the decrease in our prison population, which correlates with a decrease in cases and actually new charges filed over the last few years, I know that it comes to a savings of around $2 to $3 million a year for taxpayers.
So 40,000. What I heard there, 120 times 365. That's about 40.
That's pretty accurate.
That's about
pretty accurate.
$40,000. Ski, what's it cost to send one of these young men or women here?
$600 a class.
It'd be $600 a class, and you need like, what do you think?
About 15, 20 classes.
Okay, 20. That 10.
We're looking at about
So $10,000. So for those of you that are thinking, how are you giving our tax dollars away? How are you giving money away? I want you to think about the real costs to you, the taxpayer, of locking people up versus lifting people up. Lifting people up, $10,000 a year. Locking people up, $40,000 a year. So as a fiscal conservative, I'm also thinking not just about the hearts and the kind of the social aspect of this, but like the district attorney just said, millions of dollars saved simply by having less people, millions of dollars saved for the York County taxpayers just by having fewer people locked up.
And I'd like to add to that and make sure that people understand that the reason why in York our recidivism rates are lower, it's because of all of the wraparound collaborative initiatives that we have. Okay, so you can't just you can't just not hold people accountable, okay? People must be held accountable. That is an absolute important part of this. But what we have done as a collaborative group here together is we've identified ways to attack the mental health crisis. We attacked the opioid and addiction epidemic. And through that, we've also, moved into the world of reentry. Because, back to the stat I said before, 95% of everyone that goes in comes back out. One of the number one indicators that someone will go back in is joblessness. Are they employed? Okay, and the benefit to society is far greater when someone works than just the limited thing we see right now. And what I mean by that is we have a desperate need statewide and in our county for people to do all of the jobs that I see on this piece of paper here. A desperate need. I think last time I looked, there were around like 6,000 open manufacturing jobs in the Commonwealth, something of that nature. And so, when you get people that are returning from prison and they're working, then not only does that benefit the taxpayer immediately on prison costs, but it also frees up police to work on the most violent cases in our communities. It frees up probation officers to work on the most violent cases and the things that they need to be doing. It frees up our court system. It frees up emergency room personnel. And so the takeaway very simply for me, and the reason why, and I want to compliment Michelle Bachman from my office, who is the grant writer extraordinaire that has, really changed this community in a lot of ways with her hard work. But when we look at all these initiatives, what we're looking at is a way to make our community healthier. Okay, and I just felt it was important to say that. And when we look at this initiative in particular, this isn't like a free pass by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, this is work. And what we have seen, people that are willing to work and get to a goal and achieve that goal and have the incentive to do so, then are on a much greater path to not committing additional crimes and putting our community in a place that's unsafe. And I just wanted to articulate that from our perspective, but I appreciate everything that everyone has said.
Commissioner, if I could just add one quick comment.
Absolutely.
To those especially that are viewing this, I really want to speak to you. I want you to know that if you come to HAC, if you decide to come to HAC, following what the district attorney said, we have what's called wraparound services. So you are not going to be alone when you come here. If you haven't been in an academic environment for years, I want you to know that there are people who are eager to welcome you here and to help you be successful. I like to always say your future is our focus. And so I want you to know that we are a safe, we are an inviting, we are an affirming, a very affirming institution. And we want you to know that you are welcome here, and we will work to help you be successful. Education in many ways is different today, especially higher education, than it was years ago. And so I hope you truly will take advantage of this opportunity so that you can experience what this community's college is all about in helping you be successful.
And on that note, I want to say as well, I know when I came home from the military, HAC provided unbelievable veterans services for me. And that was something that I was so appreciative of. And for those of you that have served active duty and have been deployed around the world for a long time, you know that that transition to regular civilian life can be daunting and very difficult. And I know that the minute I actually came, I remember day one, I was directed to the Veterans Affairs office. And I sat down with a veteran who walked me through what life was going to be like. I mean, even the little things about studying and things of that nature. And I know in our community and in York, I mean, we have, I think, like 40,000 veterans in York County. And, you know, we have a veterans treatment court here in York as well, where we work with veterans who have mental health dynamics and substance abuse dynamics. And this is an opportunity for them as well. And I just wanted to, I felt I would be remiss if I didn't make a plug for how great HAC is to veterans. And I know there's a lot out there that are looking for ways to really embrace their civilian life and be successful. So I thank you for that.
I'm going to add one last thing
Please
on that
do.
note,
It's organic.
and that is that the donation opportunity to this is not closed.
Yes, it's opening.
So this is just the beginning. So if you want to support the young people of York City, if you want to support returning citizens from incarceration, if you want to support returning veterans that are coming back, and as Dave said, are trying to figure out that transition, this is the opportunity. We can all do this together.
I hope everybody feel. Now you see why I started out saying I was bursting at the seams about this initiative, about this program. And before I open it up to questions, I just want to stop again and reiterate two things. One that Dr. Ski said and one that Dave Sunday said, and that's with the level of supports. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that supported bringing this to fruition, but also thank you to everybody that's involved, that's already committed to be involved, to helping further it once the individuals are selected and identified. With Michelle Bachman from the DA's office, again, I want to say thank you to you, because this wouldn't have been possible. It was an idea. It was a dream I had, but I know I've continued to need to surround myself with people that can bring dreams to life. And that's what you are. That's what Dan Lentz is. And with respect to making sure we weren't just doing this and creating an opportunity for individuals that didn't know how to seize it properly, I want to say thank you to Tiff and her team for committing to the level of support that you're looking to put in place to make sure that they don't start this journey alone. And thank you to Dr. Ski and Miss Jasmine Byers-Simpson from HAC, York City, Pride of York City, one of ours, for committing to taking this journey and walking your neighbors along the line and down the road to get where you've gotten. So thank you so much. If you don't know her, you're going to get to know her. But this is by far one of the best things I've had, I'm going to use the word again, an opportunity to be a part of. and I'm looking forward to all the lives that it's going to change from here on out. So thank you, everybody who's been involved. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, DA Sunday. Thank you, Dr. Ski. And we'll open it up at this time for some questions. Brother Ed.
Hey, Commissioner, a couple of a multi-part question. How many people will be eligible for this program? Is this completely free? How will you folks, in your words, select and identify these individuals? And when does it get underway?
All right. So we're going to end. I know we're going to end up passing the mic with this. I'm going to try to answer some of them, and anybody else can jump in where they want to jump in at. It starts right now at this moment. That's why I wanted to make sure that the movement was here along with all of our outlets, because as of right now, the clock is ticking and the door is open, and we will be looking for individuals to affect. We'll be looking for individuals to, not trying to rhyme, but it just happens to select. And we will be soliciting those applications. I believe Lentz has them with him to literally show. Included in that application is a small, short, brief essay section, which will allow the individuals that are the potential candidates to tell their why, to share their story, because your story ends up being what's most important. And then those names will all be collected by Tiff Lowe and her team and by the police department. And they will eventually then make their way, those names and stories will make their way to our GVI board, our GVI panel, where we will all sit down together, the collective body, and we will select individuals. And those opportunities will get started right away, thanks to Dr. Ski. And they will be off and running in those programs. We'll be filling up seats. Anybody else want to share? Did I miss anything, Dan?
Yeah, so we'll cover the program costs, and if there's completely and
right down to the book bag.
Yep, so
and the laptop.
Exactly. So we do have additional materials that we can, loan out or provide for them.
So say somebody sees this on TV tonight, says, this is me, it's got my name on it. They submit the application right away. What is the earliest possibility they could get involved in the program?
Today.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we have to go. We have to go through the process. So I would say at least a couple weeks. Yeah.
And we start classes at the end of August. So.
Can you just reiterate how much money already is set aside? Is the $500,000 that still has to be approved by City Council? How far can this program go right now until more donations are needed?
Michelle, do you want to jump in? Because we're starting out with about 50 grand, but or ish.
Sorry about that. The initial funding stream will.
Come on over, Michelle. Don't be shy. That's why I wanted you in the green.
The initial funding stream through PCCD will run through January 31st, 2024. At that point in time, if the city funds come through, that will sustain it for a longer period of time, but we are always scanning for additional donations and grant income.
And it's costly. So the amount of people it reaches depends on the programs that are selected. So some programs are cheaper than the others. So if we have a lot of the lower tuition costs, that people are interested in, we can expand it to a greater number of people.
Yeah, I mean, like Dr. Ski said, if the first 5 people need GEDs, then that will shift the money down the lane to other individuals. That if there's somebody that needs one of the more expensive programs, like the computer programming course, which, by the way, I thought was completely interesting when and he didn't say it, but Captain Lentz, when he saw it on the list, when we were reading down through, when Dr. Carter sent us the list and we were reading down through it, he is by trade initially was a computer programmer before we got him into police work. And when he saw his own certification on the course, it was neat watching his face that was an offering that we're going to be able to give to our community, something that he even had to work towards to get. So anybody else? Absolutely. And if Dr. Ski, if you can come back over, somebody can take a good picture of us before we break out, if there's no other questions. And New, did you have any questions? Were there any questions that were coming on your feed? Not specifically? Okay, cool. if nobody else has any specific questions for the panel, thank you all again for being here. I'm going to say it one more time for you, Tiff. Unless you want to say it this time, I want to say it one more time for you. Introducing to the York community the GVI, More Graduations, Less Funerals Opportunity Scholarship. Thank you for coming today.